Hey guys, what is up? It is Jim here. Today I have a pretty insane gun for you guys, and this is the LEGO shell injecting Martini-Henry. There goes the shell. So, the Martini-Henry has been requested for a super long time, and I've been hesitating for the longest time just because of the lever action. I thought it was super hard to make, but apparently it really wasn't, so yeah, I've actually managed to make this gun, and I am super happy with the way this thing turned out, especially with the shell ejecting part. So anyways, let's just go over this gun. Let's start at the stock, which I was not too sure how to do this stock. And I got an idea from someone in the My Different Username Discord server to do alternating 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and it actually ended up turning out really well. You can barely see, like in real life of course, that it's going like that, but it is really actually quite comfortable against the shoulder. One thing I actually wanted to do with this gun initially was have the stock part, like everything would, be light gray, but in this case I wasn't able to do that because I didn't have enough light gray, so that's kind of a shame. But anyways, it does have some nice shaping, so it is pretty comfortable. Luckily on the LEGO one you have the lever to make it way more comfortable, because I don't think this would be very comfortable. But yeah, the lever does work. I don't think there's a shell in there, no. So you just use it like the real one. This is a single shot lever action rifle, so after every shot you have to pull the lever down and load in a new one, which is actually one of the reasons why I made this thing shell ejecting, that you can actually put in shells in here. So if I were to explain to you guys how the bolt on this one works, it works like the real one. So I feel like there's actually no reason for a tutorial for this, because it was really easy for me to figure out. If I just had to look at the video and then it was done. I had the design perfect, and it is a little bit unsturdy actually, but that is kind of to be expected with LEGO. So anyways, here we have the working trigger, which is set at a really big angle, and instead of using the Technic piece that has the hole in it, I decided to use this piece because it is so close to the trigger guard. But it does work, and I am pretty happy with the way it looks. So the trigger guard is also nice and normal. Could have made it with hinges, but didn't have them, so that's a shame. We have some slopes here. I guess where the real bolts would be, but since this bolt is a bit different than the real one, then it's not connected from there. You can also see here that there's quite the big gap, but that's because I need a big gap to be able to load the shell in there. So as you can see, it's kind of just a ramp that goes in there. That's kind of like the best way to describe how this magwell works. So what you can do is take a shell, you put it in here, you either push it with your index or your thumb, but I usually use my index because it's much easier to pull up the lever, and then you can quote unquote fire off your shot, and you can just pull it down, and then you can have the shell hit your foot. So it does fire quite far, but since I'm holding it downwards, it's a bit weaker. The system in here is pretty much a reverse charging handle, so when you're putting in a shell, which I can do again here for you guys, you are basically pushing a piece with a rubber band on it. So you can see if I let go, it gets pushed back out. So when I put it up, that's when it's holding tension against it, so the bolt does have to be attached sort of low, just because of that, but it is pretty strong usually. There you go. I do feel like it's quite the clever mechanism, but it's super simple and it's doable by pretty much anyone. So here's the handguard, which is supposed to be made out of wood. I tried to make it as flat as I could on both sides, but here's the kind of wraparound thing. It's supposed to be light gray all the way up to here, but there was no way of connecting more pieces because of the weird way I constructed this gun, just because of the whole mechanisms back here. So this is supposed to be light gray up here, so this would be a wraparound and around the barrel, much like it is at the front, which is of course properly detailed with the quote unquote wraparound. Here we have something that's pretty similar to a leaf sight, but I guess it's just a standard adjustable sight. So let's see if we can get a view down these sights here. They're nothing too special, they're just very plain. So here we have the front wooden part, which I was going to make 3 studs wide, but then I realized that I would not have the pieces for that. So it's 4 studs, but it still looks really good. You have the barrel, of course, that goes along from here all the way to there. So it is a really long barrel. So I guess it can be used as a sniper in Battlefield 1. I don't know since I haven't played the game, so yeah. There's the front sight right there, which is just a little pile. Then you know, what I believe to be the gas tube, and then maybe a bayonet mount, because it would make sense that it would have a bayonet mount, since you only have 1 shot, and then if you get quite close up you can just stab whoever's in your way. So I thought, just for fun, let's go ahead and take the bolt out. So I'm just going to remove these pieces, then I'm going to make sure the lever is up. Then I can push on this, and then it literally just comes out. So you may see red here, and some black, and some light gray, and that's because it doesn't have to be properly colored on the inside, but it's mainly because these pieces haven't been used as much. So they are way more stronger, and you do need a really strong bolt for this to be able to work properly. So right down here we have the lever, so you can see it just kind of moves back and forwards, and it sits in this groove right here, so it moves like this. And then of course it is on this pin right here, so then it of course moves. But the really crucial thing is to try to get the correct sloping on top and on the inside as well, which you sadly can't see. But also this roof piece, it has to be tall enough so that you can actually have a shell properly get stuffed in there without having to break the top of the gun or the bottom of the gun, or even breaking the bolt itself. You can see the working trigger right in there. It's just my standard trigger mechanism. You can see the stopping piece for the bolt right down there. Then the stopping piece for the lever is in the back right there, so you can see the lever just goes down in there, then it stops right there, and that's when it's usually all the way down, and then you can put the shell in there. So the lever is also just designed with some Technic pieces, just for stability, and you know, it doesn't look amazing, but it is as good as I can get it, pretty much. So that's just kind of a glimpse on the mechanism. I would obviously break off this wall if I could, just to show you guys a bit more. But sadly I can't do that because it's not designed to just break apart like that. So hopefully that was understandable. It wasn't just random gun mechanism gibberish. But it is how the real one works. The ejector might not be super realistic to the real one. But it is as good as I can get it, and I'm still really super proud of this gun, that it turned out the way it did with the shell ejection. So yeah, anyways, that is pretty much it. Make sure to request some more guns down below. Big thank you to the people that actually requested this gun, so that I could make it, and I would actually see what this gun was to make. And I am actually just super happy with the way this gun turned out. So, as I said, leave more requests down below, so I can make more guns, and yeah, I'll see you guys. Goodbye.